Hey, what y'all doing tonight? Hi, it's Friday. It's pouring here. Hey, baby girl, how you doing, Summer? It is pouring here, guys. It is raining, raining, raining. Y'all see, I got me a new camera, right? Julian got me a camera. I didn't get no camera. Yes, yes, yes. So now we're gonna work on the lighting, right? So how are you guys doing tonight? I'm doing all right. Just Whew. Today has been a rough day, guys. They think I'm having a flare when I don't know. A lot of people probably don't have autoimmune, or are not familiar, or maybe you don't know anyone with an autoimmune disease. But when I have a flare, it's a full body thing. Sometimes it's not just one thing or the other, which is they believe why I'm losing weight. Um, when I get Hey, Yolanda. And yo, yo, wow, wow. But thanks. I know you know about this here process, so I appreciate you chiming in. Um, I am sick, guys. Like my whole body hurts. My feet hurt. My head hurts. My shoulder hurts. I have been in the bed all day. My blood sugar, I've discussed on here about when I developed type 2 diabetes due to pancreatitis and a gallbladder stone was blocking my pancreatic duct. So I had some issues, and ever since then, I've had trouble with my sugar. And so I was diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic, and I've been on metformin and Tresiba for probably since 2017. So, and my gallbladder, the process started in 2016. That's when I had to have my gallbladder removed in April. But, of course, there were a lot of things we tried, diet and different things, as usual. When someone has issues with their sugar, there's certain things that happen first. And then I went on metformin. It wasn't working. So then they added, for a while, I was actually on insulin. I was an insulin dependent diabetic. Um, so I had to have insulin. And but then I was able to come off of that, and then I started the Tresiba, which is a long act. It lasts in your system a little longer, and I was doing well on that. Like my last couple of A1Cs, one was 7.2. Previously, they were like 13, 14. It was high. My A1C was very high. But now, the last year it has been 7.2 and then 6.5 in March. And but now my sugars are so low. I've stopped both the metformin and the Tresiba, and my doctor is aware. And but I still don't know what's going on with my sugars. For instance, this morning I woke up, right? Well, I was up, but I had been laying in bed for a while. So about 12 o'clock, I got up and checked my sugar, and it was 62. So I go and make me a bologna sandwich. And yes, I love bologna sandwiches. I was in too much pain to fry it, or it would have been a fried bologna sandwich, but I just am not in the mood. I don't care. But anyway, I was able to eat half of that sandwich. And hey, Kara, how you doing? And so I ate that, and then of course I set up a few minutes, and then I went back to bed. And I was in bed and took a nap and in bed. But then I got up at like 5 because dinner was here. And I checked my sugar, right? Because since I'm not taking my meds, I definitely have to watch it more than normal. I hate checking my blood sugar, but I know right now this is something I have to do. But when I took it again right before dinner, just like 4 hours after I ate a sandwich, it was 54. Y'all, I don't know what's going on. So maybe that's part of the autoimmune too. Autoimmune effects can affect any and everything. It is your body attacking itself essentially. So whatever it decides to do, it happens. So yesterday I saw my primary care, and I'm under 200 pounds. I'm 196.3. The first time I had been under 200 pounds since I had summer in 97, in the end of August of 97. So, because I was 270 when I had her. So, for those of you that know me, last about a year and a half ago now, I got really sick. I was at about 256 pounds, and I lost all the way down to 207. I had a PET scan. I had some migrating lymphedema, um, and so they thought that it was lymphoma. So, but it just kind of went away like it started. It was kind of crazy. And so at that point, they were like, oh, maybe this is your autoimmune. And so now this is happening again. I've actually lost, I had gained back to 220, right? Because everybody know I love to eat, especially cake, homemade cake. Oh, Jesus, I can eat my weight in that and fried mullet. You understand? But, I am under 200 pounds. I'm not trying to lose weight. But I'll take the weight loss however I get it, but they are concerned. And then my pain is astronomical. Even my medical marijuana barely doesn't touch it. So, and I refuse to take narcotics, right? I just do not take them. The only time I take narcotics is when I'm in the hospital, and that's all I have access to because I have an extensive list of allergies. Fentanyl, Dilaudid are both on that list. So when I'm in the hospital, an example, when I had my heart attack, they gave me morphine, but morphine is in the same family as my allergies. So, I itch and I have to have Benadryl. It's it's just a whole complication in the hospital. So, but that's the only time I use anything for pain other than my medical marijuana is when I'm in the hospital. Um, so, but I'm in so much pain. But anyway, yesterday I saw in primary care, he did a entire battery of labs, right? And then today I saw my rheumatologist, and he said that he thinks it's a combination of my RA and the autoimmune process, and so he's waiting to get the labs. My primary care will share the labs with my rheumatologist. That way they don't have to all run all these different labs. I really appreciate that. And they'll send them to my cardiologist as well and the hematologist, right? Because I see all of them on a regular basis. So he is going, hey Alexis, Miss Bala. Um, we'll wait and see, but I can tell you my body is very angry at itself. And so I am home. I am resting. I've been asleep probably 90% of the last 2 days. And I'm exhausted, guys. So all my people out there that pray good, but whatever you can do, help me because I appreciate it. Y'all know I'm a laughy, talky person, but baby, I ain't said 10 words the last 2 days other than coming on here. I've said more on here than I have in my own household. And Zane, y'all, let me tell you about my baby. He be in his room, but he be coming across the hall His bedroom's right across from our bedroom, and he come in there and he check on me. He don't care if I'm asleep. He don't care if I'm in the bathroom. He does not care. Zane is gonna come in there and say, Mom, Mom, you all right? And he's gonna make me answer him. Do y'all hear me? Make me answer him. He will ask me. I could lay there like I don't hear him. He gonna keep asking until I roll over and look him in his face and say something. That's my partner. That's my baby. But and he still be, y'all, he came in there bothering me about some breadsticks. Ain't nobody else in the house, I guess. He want me to help him with the breadsticks. But y'all know I love him and I get right up and do it. But I'm telling y'all, I feel ooh, but it's all right. God know what he doing. You don't make no mistakes. So everything's gonna be okay. So anyway, y'all, the numbers is going up, they say, from coronavirus. I don't know what they talk about. Um, you know, that the numbers is going up, the whole false positive, negative. That's a big thing. Even in pregnancy tests, women, y'all know that you can get a false positive or a false negative. And pregnancy tests, urine pregnancy tests have been around forever. Not literally forever, but for a very long time. And so, it is that's a given with any test that's ran. So, but the thing is that even if even if they even if there are a lot of false positives, right? It's still the most numbers they saw since April. So the most biggest increase. So that, is concerning, but hey, it's a virus. If you treat it like every other virus, don't touch everything, clean your hands, don't be around people that might be sick or go into strange crowds. Know where you're going, right? If you're going to go into Walmart or something, throw a mask on. If you don't want to throw a mask on, you don't have to. A lot of people don't wear masks during the flu season and never get the flu. So, I was actually working in actively as a nurse during H1N1. And I remember the patients coming in and everybody, there was no test. It just was chaotic at best in the doctor's office. And I was in Virginia at the time. And so I remember that, but I remember I never got it. I don't remember anyone in that doctor's office, the 3 physicians that worked in the office. There were 3 nurses. Each doc had a nurse. There was a lab tech. And then you had your front office people who, let's see, there was a front desk, a back desk, and a referral person. So there was 10 of us working in that practice. None of us got it. But the thing is, a lot of it is about hygiene. You cannot get away from that. If you wash your hands, if you're mindful of touch what you're going to get, don't pick up stuff and just look at it. If you're going to look at it, clean your hands after you do. There's different things, but y'all, this is the new normal. How many of y'all remember pre-Tamiflu, right? When there was no way to treat the flu, whether they found out in 72 hours or not, there was no treatment. I never got the flu. I've never had the flu. And I haven't had a flu vaccine since I came off active duty. So, I really believe that it is a matter of how you take care of yourself and your hygiene. I believe that because last flu season, Julian and Zane had the flu. Julian had strain B, Zane had A, and I never got the flu. Now, when Zane had it, I had to preventively take Tamiflu 10-day course. But when Julian had it, I didn't take anything. He slept outside in the tent. But what I'm saying is there's ways around this without the panic, and so I want to encourage everyone. We have to get back to some life, but you have to do what is best for your home, for your environment. I am high risk. And so, for instance, last December of 19, there was a big outbreak of flu and strep throat at Stark Elementary. Zane didn't go to school. I kept him home for like 2 weeks. And then it was winter break, so he was out that whole time too. But I kept him home. I get a doctor's note to say that's what I did and why. So I'm covered, but that's what we have to do. If you're high risk, you have to be mindful of what's going on near you and in your area. So, I encourage you to, even on the weather app, it says flu high or low during flu season. I know there's nothing like that for the coronavirus, but the thing is, we just have to be mindful. It's kind of like like I said, when strep throat breaks out at the school, some kids get it, some kids don't. But if you are high risk, you have to be a little more cautious with your children. So, when we talk about, DeSantis and them are evidently opening up schools, he's all for it in the fall and in August. And you have to make those decisions what's best for your family. I don't think it's fair to just say keep all the schools closed, because I was a single working mom until Summer and Jonathan Summer was 14 when I got married to Julian. They had to go to school. I had to work, y'all. I was the only income. And look, Uncle Sam does not like to hear you out because of your children, because your children don't come in your sea bag. So they will quickly process your behind out if you missing a lot of work because you were a single parent. So, there's things that parents need. So I understand that. And I understand that there are some parents that are going to have to send their kids to school and they wish they wouldn't have to. There's a lot of people who would love to homeschool their kids. I am not one of them. Look, let me be honest. I do not want to homeschool any of our children. They have all went to public school. Summer and Jonathan went to a private school for a little while, but they've all went to public school. And honey, I don't want to homeschool nobody. But that may be what has to happen right now, And it's a temporary thing, but it may be what has to happen. But I give all of these examples and stuff because I really think the one thing that a lot of us are missing is just compassion and understanding, and also mind your own damn business. It ain't none of your business what somebody else deciding to do in their home with their children. And it's not fair to tell everybody they have to do things a certain way. It's just not fair. We cannot. I just don't understand. See, this whole idea, this whole government in everything. See, that's the problem with the government being so involved in our lives, is that everybody waits to be told what to do. Look, that's why people don't understand how to use common sense, because you don't have to use it. You're being told what to do, how to do, when to do. Are you for real? That's crazy. You have to do what is best for you and your family. Do you understand? It's that easy. And people, just because you don't like what somebody else is choosing to do with their family, does not give you the right to tell them what you think. If they don't ask you, shut up. They're not interested in what you have to say. It is that simple. All these arguments and everybody got to see things everybody your way. That's foolish. We were all born different. No delivery is the same. We all look different. I joined a group and somebody sent me a thing talking about, is this you? It's for minority businesses, right? Yes, that's me. I know what you see, right? And I'm paler than I've ever been. Anybody knows me knows that, because since I've been sick, it just has not been good. But guys, yeah. So they see and they assume, but my white passing has never benefited me, because the minute I open my mouth, it goes to flop. So I am very proud of to be Hispanic, and but yeah, but it's funny, y'all. I be laughing because people see pictures of me and they can be real confused in the minority groups I'm in, because but I have to I be waiting on them to ask, because I don't want to say nothing. Because look, if you've ever been overseas to any country outside of America, you know that America is not the only country that has a variety of shades in every ethnicity. So I just laugh, and let it go, and I don't get offended. I mean, it's a minority group. So you should ask, if you have questions, because we network together for a reason. And but yeah. So that's something funny that goes on for me. So I kind of get it. I open my mouth, and then Caucasians want to know where I'm from and why I sound like I do. And then minorities want to know if I'm white. So it's kind of crazy. And the truth is, I'm in the middle. I'm both. So, and it's okay. But yeah. So, and then you see people tiptoe around, they don't want to ask. It's kind of funny, but anyway. What else is going on, y'all? I got my necklace, my jewelry, my Papa jewelry for graduation from my girl Yolanda. I got this a one and done, one hitter quitter. That's what her sister business partner called it, one hitter quitter. It was the last one that I got. It's red and silver. So y'all know I don't wear a lot of jewelry because I'm allergic to so much. But it so but I did. I got that necklace because I saw it and was like, that'll go for graduation. So I did that. What else have I done? Nothing really, guys. I have been really ill. So the on my Facebook I shared the protest from Portsmouth, Virginia, P-Town, to those of us that know Portsmouth. And I would just like to give an update. The guy that the statue fell on, for those of you that haven't, hey Tiffany, that don't know, hey Tasha, for those of you that don't know, they knocked the heads. There is a statue in Portsmouth that the place where let's not even talk about the statue, but the place where the statue is sitting is where they used to beat slaves, that exact spot, and sell them. So yeah, I was rather happy to see them busting the heads off of that monument, but they pulled a statue down, one statue completely off of the monument, and it hit a man. And the man is married and has two children. He's in a medically induced coma, but they don't really know much yet. They said you could see his skull, and he lost a lot of blood. But just keep that family, lifted up. He was part of the Black Lives Matter in the 757 group, and that is why he was out there. It was actually a very peaceful protest. There were police on board, on standby. The police were there. There were other people there, and they weren't doing anything illegal, I guess. So the police didn't intervene, but they did get in quickly when the man got hurt. The people that were there protesting quickly just got out of the way so that they could take care of him. But that spot, that monument, why it's there, it's disgusting. F heritage. Do you understand? What heritage do you want to be connected to that has killed, murdered, raped, beat, sold, divided families? Okay, that is what this spot, where that monument is, represents. Why wouldn't people want it tore down of all colors? Why would you want anything that represents that type of anger? So if you're okay with that, right, then I assume you're okay with sex trafficking. I assume you're okay with pedophiles. I assume you're okay with murderers and serial killers. I'm just saying, it's the same thing. If you're against those things, you should be against these statues and the location of these statues. Look, just go do a history lesson. I encourage anyone that's upset about them moving these statues, or these people being upset about statues, talking about its history, go and look at the sites where these things are placed. Because hear me, it was all strategic. Those white people wanted to remember and wanted minorities to remember what happened there. That's kind of crazy. That's the same thing as serial killers that collect stuff, right? They collect stuff from their victims. What's the difference? All of these monuments and statues mean the same thing. Tear them down, move them, get rid of them. And let's change Rodeo Drive to Martin Luther King Boulevard. Just a suggestion. If it's rooted in hate, it's hateful. Y'all, it's kind of like thinking you have an orange tree and you mad because you didn't get apples. If you have an orange tree, you can't expect apples. If you have a cherry tree, you can't expect figs. Come on, guys. It really is common sense. It should not. First of all, I don't understand why this stuff wasn't removed long before anybody mentioned it. Look, history is history, and we cannot change it. But we also cannot have things that represent and stand for hate in a country where people are offended. Move it. We shouldn't have that anyway. You don't have to understand it. You can sit and say, but common sense tells you if it stands for hate, it shouldn't be there because it's going to hurt somebody. serial killers. They don't expose in court. They don't show all of the stuff that they found on the victim to the parents. Once the parents identify, they don't need to see the clothing and all of that other stuff, because it's not fair. It's not humanistic, because we are all human. Why does it matter what shade of human you are, whether or not you should have to be exposed to continual reminders of trauma? Whether you experience the trauma or not, there's a lot of people that understand what I went through being sexually abused, physically abused, mentally abused, and have understanding and are sorry for what I went through. That doesn't mean they went through it, but they're human. How can you not understand a child that was sexually assaulted for 2 years? How do you not get offended and hurt and bothered by that? So how can you not be hurt, offended, or bothered when people are saying these things are where our ancestors were destroyed? These things are where our families were divided. These things are where our Black men were broken. These things are where men and women were raped. These things are where children were snatched from their mothers and fathers and sold to go work in a whole nother state. Y'all, where is the human side of each of us? We have to remember we are all human. A dear friend of Julian's in New York keeps posting these things, and I'm not going to say his name because we didn't talk about it, but he keeps sharing these things about, and he's a biologist, a biology person, you know, he's deep in science, so I trust what he say. And he just keeps saying, we're all human. We're letting melanin, which is something each of our bodies produce, decide things by our shade, by our, when really we're all human. We're all made up of the same things. And yet we have no understanding or compassion for other people. And look, for all of y'all with this Confederate flag thing, that Confederate flag does not represent heritage unless you're anti-American. Do you hear me? The Confederate flag was designed and created to represent, along with other flags that were used in the South as well, to represent those that were against what the laws, the Constitution said. It was against America. All of those flags. It's not just the Confederate flag. They had different flags. Different groups had different flags, right, in the South. But, hey, Lou, but the thing is that is what that flag represents. It's not about heritage. Are you kidding me? The flag is anti-American. So y'all can get mad about it all you want to, but that's just the facts. Do your history search. And yes, The war was because the Southerners didn't want slaves freed. So no, that the heritage of that flag is anti-American and hate. There's no other way to look at it. So if you're upset that they're getting rid of that flag, well, I'm sure ain't nobody mad that you upset, but it's gone. It is going away. That's what it represents, guys. Just plain history. The thing is, we get upset in our emotions when we can just look at black and white and and know what happened. One thing that white history has that black history and Hispanic history does not is it's well out in the books, the encyclopedias, it's everywhere. You don't have to look too far to understand white American history. However, black history, Hispanic history, Native American history is not as easily known or accessible. So for those of us that understand our ancestry, our heritage, and have looked into that, we've done a lot more research. It's not as easy to find. So, but it's black and white, you guys, what the Confederate flag represents and the other flags of that time for the South. They were against America because America was saying, free the slaves. And they were saying, no. So I'm just saying, it really is that black and white, guys. I encourage you guys to research, read, study. Everybody. We all need to understand who we are, where we came from. That is important. Your ancestry. Look, you don't have to use ancestry.com. You can, if you can afford it. It'll help because it's not free, right? However, when they start asking you for blood samples, y'all, they cannot tell you where you're from based off your blood. Anyway. However, your name, if you know your mother's name, your father's last name, that's the stuff you need. Your grandparents' last names. That's the stuff you can research, and you don't have to go to ancestry.com to do it. It will take a lot of legwork, but you don't need that to know. So, just look. During all this time with people going crazy and ain't got nothing to do, I'll give you an assignment. Do your research. It's easy. Google some last names and see where it takes you. Right? For instance, my father's family are from Spain. I could trace the last name all the way back to a specific town there. My mother's father, right? My Mima's father, I could trace them all the way back to Dothan, Alabama. So, and back further than that, I don't know exactly because I stopped looking because they lived on a plantation and I just left it there because that means what it means, and we all know. So, but I'll tell you, I have educated all of my nieces and nephews as to who they are genetically, right? And their ancestry, because I want them to understand who they are. And but it's not that hard. I encourage you to figure out who you are, where you're from, because just because you're darker, like, right, just because your skin is a darker shade does not mean there's no white people in your heritage, in your ancestry. Just because you're light as me doesn't mean there aren't dark skinned people in your ancestry. Your shade has nothing to do with your ancestry.
Hey y'all, I'm back on my phone because the computer died. Sorry. But anyway, I encourage each of you to do your research. Know who you are. Don't let people tell you. Don't assume. Go and find your greatness, right? Go and because we're all phenomenal individual people. Well, I say that loosely, y'all, because everybody's not good people. Some people are just terrible, horrible, hateful, disgusting humans. But they still human, but they're terrible, disgusting humans. But what we have to do is make sure we're not that human. So just like you don't want to be a pedophile, let's not be a racist. Okay? You know, I'm not tolerating stuff very well. I am really, hey Summer, the computer died. So I am really sad that I'm not surprised, but it is sad that so many bigots are being exposed. Like, I have had people call me and they are shocked that certain friends of theirs are like, they don't know that their friends is racist. Look, how in the world, if you've been friends with somebody, you didn't know they were racist? I mean, I'm just saying. I haven't been surprised. They ain't nobody shocked me. Because, you know, like I said, growing up, and my mother's husband, my stepfather, he was KKK racist. So and I know who he knew. So their people can't help but be racist too. I'm just saying. And if I'm honest with you, I ain't seen nothing different. They are who they are. They're racist. They've been taught that. But listen, let me tell you something. I was taught a whole lot of stuff. A whole lot of stuff I could have held on to. A whole lot of stuff I could have done. You know what I'm saying? I know a whole lot of stuff. But does that mean that I got to do it? No. No. And listen, if you know that your views are skewed, because listen, it takes a real honest person to understand that what their parents taught them is dead ass wrong, and that's not who they want to be. What you have to do to fix that is get a therapist. You have to unlearn and relearn. You need a therapist for that. Not Facebook. No. You need to know how to not think that way, right? Like, I had to learn not to be so angry because I was so angry for so long. But I had to learn that. So if you grew up in a racist household and you grew up thinking it was all right to hate people because they are different than you, then you need a therapist to help you with that. You need to unlearn it. And look, if your parents are bigots, you probably got some of that in you. Unless you hate them. Like me. I took nothing from my parents because there is nothing about them that I want. Right? Other than my body, my makeup, that's all they got anything to do with. Because they tried to destroy me. But God had a different idea and a different plan. So I encourage you, if you feel like you can't say the right thing, or that your view, everybody is telling you, why is that how you feel about that or how you see that? Are you a racist? Go get you a therapist. Go get you a therapist. Let them tell you. Right? And don't just go get you a minority therapist. Right? Because some therapists out there, I'm sure, that are racist themselves. Because let me tell y'all something. Racism goes high. It's high in America. Like I told you, it's got to be. I gave y'all the history of this monument in Portsmouth that everybody talking about. Oh, they tore it up. They ought to tow it up. Knock the heads off of it too. And too bad stone don't burn. They might have set it on fire. I would not have been opposed. But the police were there. They didn't see nothing wrong with the people tearing it down. So it is what it is. But yeah, y'all, there is no excuse for racism. There is no excuse to be a bigot. If this applies to you, get help. Because I can assure you that those of us minorities in America are not going to listen, read it, or think about it without commenting. So you might want to get a little help. But if you think you all right where you at, hey, live your best life, right? Just don't be shocked with the response that you get from certain people. And that's the biggest thing for me. How are you shocked that somebody cussed you out? But you know, I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, I have talked to several of my family members, several friends that are like family. This is going on all over America, not just here. Willful ignorance. Willful ignorance. Boy, that's something right there. Y'all think about that. Willful ignorance. Are you willfully ignorant? That means you just want to be ignorant. That means you just don't want to know, which is right next to stupid to me. So that's just how I feel. Y'all know I'm going to say it. I don't care. But seriously, we got to do better. We have to be better humans. We have to be knowledgeable. We have to be, hey, Shakara. We have to be understanding. But, listen here. Understanding does not, hear me, being understanding does not mean that you let it continue. Look, I have an understanding. Listen, I have an understanding that some people are racist. However, I just understand it because I will straighten it every time. I understand that some people feel that way, but they got to understand that I'm going to check them on it. Thank God I don't have any, like I said, I don't deal with racist people. I have never dealt with racist people. And since I was old enough to decide, since I was old enough to figure out I didn't have to be around them and I could dismiss them. or I could cuss them out, or I could beat them up. That's what I've always done. So, we have to make sure that even in our understanding that we're not allowing us to be belittled or to made feel inferior. Understanding does not give someone the right to mistreat you. That's why I'm trying to get y'all. I told y'all I'm in a lot of pain. But yes. So you cannot, just because you understand that people are racist does not give them the right to mistreat you. I don't care if look, Julian's first wife, right? Shay, Kyra, and Javier's mom. Her family is racist. Julian knew that and didn't deal with them that well often because of that. But Julian never checked them, which he should have. She should have. She was white, so, but no, you cannot. And I encourage those of you on my page who are white. I have a lot of friends that are in different race relationships, a lot of family. Listen, it is your place to check your folks. You understand? It is your place to check your folks. Period. How you sit up there and let somebody mistreat someone you love? Look, don't nobody let nothing they love get harmed. Do you hear that? Nobody that loves allows what they love to be harmed. So if your family member feels like they are attacked by your black family or your white family or your Indian family or your Native American family or your Dominican family or your Puerto Rican family or your Trinidadian family or your Italian family or your African family or your Russian family or your China family or your Japanese family or your whatever. If you love them, protect them. And that doesn't mean you just say, we ain't going around them. No. That's not fair. No, you check them. And that's also when you say, oh, we just won't go around them. Sometimes that's just avoidance because you don't want to check your family. Look, if you're going to make the choice for your family not to go around the family, that means you cut them off too. Period. But you can't say, oh, we're just not going to go around them because of how they treat my significant other. And then you still have dealings with them. What the? Oh, no, sir. Look here, this is a package deal. If you love them, you stand with them and you protect them. You ain't got to agree with me, but that's the truth. And listen, if it's not in you, you won't be okay with it. So if you okay with the way your family treats your spouse because racially they're different, right? Or ethnically. Because listen, just because they look different, they're treated different, and you still associate with that family, you're in agreement with them. That's why your family continues to do what they do. Because they feel like you all right with it. You just trying to keep peace at your home. No, 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 no. There will be no peace in your home if you're not protecting your family. Period. Look, and that goes for anything. Just because somebody's different. If maybe you're in a same-sex relationship and your family doesn't like that, but yet your family still wants to have dealings with you, but not your significant other. Look, that's a problem with that. Because guess what? Your family doesn't accept you either. And that's just the truth. They love you, but they are not accepting of you. Do they love you? I put a big question mark there. Because listen, there is nothing nobody I love could do that would make me unlove them. But I will protect them with every ounce of me. Period. Anybody knows me knows I don't play about that. So I encourage you guys to have some real conversations. You know, racism, I don't know if it's ever going to go away, but what I do know is that we can begin to change the narrative. What I know is that we can begin to be different. We can begin to have conversations in our homes. Because honestly, your home is the only thing you really got much control over. Yes, these are tough conversations. But listen, if your white parents, your black parents, whatever, cannot accept your spouse, what about your children? Y'all can say whatever you want to say, but facts are facts. If they can't love your spouse, they don't love half of your children or your significant other, whatever. Period. Y'all, it is that simple. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, you can honestly reach out to me. I don't get offended. Look, I've been through too much to be offended. Now I may cuss somebody out, but I'm not offended. I just be telling you how I feel. And I be trying not to cuss, but child, sometimes I be in my emotions and it just come out. But cussing was my first language, y'all. I think I knew cussing before I knew, hey, Miss Kathy. I was cussing in Orangewood. I was a good cusser, 6, 7 years old, and could cuss like, ooh, woo. So I believe I was cussing before I was speaking English well. But I say all of that to say that you have to stand for your home. You have to stand for your children, for your significant other, for those that you love. You know, we've seen these children where they're on coming out and challenging their parents about the way they see things. Y'all, I'm so happy to see that. Because listen, when I was a child, when I would say things, I would get beat. I would be told that they would break me or they would beat it out of me. When I would tell them that, you know, things. And so I am glad y'all children keep going live now when you talking to your parents crazy. That way it'll help keep down the beatings. But you're right. Question them. And parents, if your child is questioning you, stop thinking that it's just they just being disrespectful. Talk to them. Maybe you were wrong. Because listen, parents, none of us is 100% right. And if you a bigot, you dead wrong. If you think you are better than somebody else because y'all look different, something wrong with you. If you think you better than somebody else because you have more money than they do, something wrong with you. And look here, all y'all Christians, get yourself together. Because listen, a lot of y'all Christians, children's telling on y'all. Your children are seeing these injustices and recognizing it. And they telling the truth about what y'all taught them in your home and in y'all churches. Now, I'm just saying, that's just the truth. Y'all better pay attention. But listen, everything done in the dark will come to the light. You reap what you sow. Those two things are biblical and factual. But I'm going to get off here, y'all. I don't even know what time it is. My computer died. I can't see the time on it. Child, I don't know nothing. I'm just here. But y'all have a good weekend. I will see y'all on Monday. Hope I'm feeling better. And I'm sorry that the computer cut off. I will try to make sure that don't happen no more. But y'all have a good night. Bye.